Where you are currently right now in your life has everything to do with your choices. I'm going to read you this post, and hopefully this wakes you up. Because if you're stuck right now, maybe physically, where you're overweight, taking all these medications, you have no motivation, shoot, you don't even have a sex drive anymore, right? Stuck physically, or maybe you're stuck mentally or emotionally, maybe even spiritually, who knows? But if you're stuck right now, you just feel like life is going by day over day, right? And you're just a leaf floating along in the wind. That's it. Hopefully, this is going to wake you up. I'm going to read you this post, and then afterwards, I want to talk about something very, very, very important that honestly, it has personally waked me up so much when it comes to starting to take action on my goals, but also at the same time, whenever somebody signs up for our coaching program at Heartletics, I always share with them this story because it helps them out so much. I'll say it like this, right? I'm not going to sugarcoat it by any means. You can follow the best diet in the world, right? You can follow the best workout program in the world, but hands down, if you have any kind of self-fulfilling beliefs, if you have a mindset that is not going to help you with progression and actually having success at reaching your goals, if you don't believe it's possible, it doesn't matter what you're doing in terms of the nutrition. It doesn't matter what you're doing in terms of the training. You will not be successful. Henry Ford said it best. Whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you're right. So let me read you this post and let me share with you just one small little story that is going to be the thing that you need to hear today to help you get unstuck, to help you start taking action when it comes to your goals. So with that being said, let me read you this. Your choices equal your life. Every man is fighting a war inside of him between who he is now and who he's supposed to become. And the truth is, you're going to suffer either way. You'll either suffer from discipline or suffer from regrets. How you do one thing is how you do everything. But too many men get stuck in bad habits and addictions and slowly lose confidence, purpose, and self-respect. And you know who ends up paying the price? Your kids. There are too many out of shape, tired, defeated dads out there. And it's sad because it doesn't have to be this way. They make so many different excuses saying it's too hard, and the truth is, no, you're just too soft. They'll say, I don't have time. The reality is, you don't make time. They'll say eating healthy is too expensive, but the truth is, no, you just waste money on things that don't matter at all. I'm not trying to be the bad guy here. I'm just trying to help you wake up because your kids are the ones that are watching you. Your kids are watching your big belly grow. Your kids are watching your bad eating habits. Your kids are watching how you sit on the couch every single night after work. Your kids are watching how you never play with them anymore. They're not listening to what you say. They're watching what you do. If you really loved your kids, you'd start living for them. Start moving your body. Start eating healthier. Start showing up as the man that they look up to. Everyone says that they'll die for their kids, and that's easy. But would you start living for them? That's hard. Hopefully I got your attention now. Now let me share with you this one story, and hence it has everything to do with one of the best things that's in my office is whoosh, that image right here. The two different wolves, okay? In case you never heard this story before, when I was first told this story, it just instantly, and I kid you not, instantly left a permanent mark inside of my head and how I viewed everything differently based on this, okay? Here's the story between the good wolf and the bad wolf, okay? There's this Cherokee tribe, and there's this grandfather sitting there by the campfire talking to his grandson, okay? And the grandfather is telling his son about this vicious battle between two different wolves. You have the bad wolf, and that's the one that represents anger, hate, negativity, right? Like all the things that we don't like, okay? The things that we're trying to avoid and run away from. That's what the bad wolf represents. Now, from a spiritual component, you can look at that as the enemy, the devil, Satan himself. And then on the flip side, right? The bad wolf is versus the good wolf. And the good wolf is love, joy, peace, patience, fruits of the spirit, right? And from a spiritual, representation, that could be God, So it's this battle that's going back and forth, nonstop. And it literally never ends, right? It's just constant war, constant war, constant war. And the grandson asks the grandfather, says, Papa, who ends up winning the war? Who comes out top dog? Who is the best wolf? Who ends up winning this? And the grandfather paused, turned to the grandson and said, whichever wolf that you decide to feed the most. And when I first heard that, honestly, I kid you not, I'm not over, trying to make this sound all crazy or anything like that, but it gave me chills because it made me look at life differently. That we all have choices in life. You have good choices, you have bad choices. And your life right now is because of whatever choices that you are going to make. Okay? If you're somebody right now that's addicted, right? Maybe you're addicted to bad habits like being lazy, right? You're a couch potato, right? You can say, oh, you tried every diet under the sun. No, the reality is you probably just quit, right? Before you start seeing any kind of results, You're somebody that, let's just say, is once again addicted to bad eating habits also. Maybe you're addicted to drugs. Maybe you're addicted to alcohol. Maybe you're even addicted to pornography because you're trying to find an escape right now, right? You have no control over your life, so you're trying to find something to control over, and maybe that's clucking your chicken. Who knows, right? But you're addicted to something right now that's got you feeling stuck, okay? And right now, right, you're faced with a hard decision. You need to continue to make choices, right? Based on, hey, this is the easy outlet. This is how I, block out. This is how I, release stress. This is how I, whatever. And maybe that's the drugs. Maybe that's the pornography. Maybe that's the bad eating habits. Whatever it is, right? Where it makes you feel a certain way as an escape mechanism. Okay? This is why, I'm going to just pause real quick before I continue. This is why I have so much respect for our older generation. Because if you think about it, like back in the day, let's just say when there was a draft, like there was no, oh, I don't feel like it. It's like, no, put up your big boy pants. You're going out to war. You're going out to battle. It doesn't matter if you feel like it or not. We lost that character traits in today's society with our generation. Hate to say it, but that's just the truth. Now, on the flip side of those bad habits, those bad choices that we continue to make, you are one choice away from completely changing your life. But it's not going to happen overnight, right? It's just one choice that you need to make, and then the next day, another choice, and then the next day, another choice, and the next day, another choice. See, I think it's Napoleon Bonaparte. He said it best. He said, most people fail simply because they give up what they want the most for what they want right now. And maybe you're somebody that continues to tell yourself, hey, I'm going to work out, I'm going to eat healthy. We see this all the time with the New Year's resolution, right? And typically by the end of February or early March, people are back to their old ways. Why? Because either one, they fall, right? They cave into the pressure of what they want right now. And maybe that's a slice of pizza, Maybe that's a box of donuts. Maybe that's just sleeping in for the day. Maybe that's going back to the drugs, back to the alcohol, back to the pornography, whatever it is. But when you continually make, and I'm not saying you have to be perfect by any means, because I sure am not, right? But it's all about progression over perfection. If you look at my life in the course of 365 days out of the year, I have more good days of me feeding the good wolf rather than me feeding the bad wolf. And that's why I look a certain way that most people don't, right? That's why I have muscles. That's why I have low body fat, right? I make good, wise choices. Sure, I fall into my bad habits. Sure, I'm not perfect every single day. But you know what? I pick myself up. I have accountability partners. Right? I have community that I surround myself with, and that's what helps me stay more consistent overall. So it leads me to this question, right? Is what is going to be the thing that you need to hear that's actually going to help you start making wise, better choices starting today? Because there's never going to be a magic pill that's going to take away all the body fats. There's never going to be a magic shots. You can take as much Ozempic and GLP-1 shots as much as you want. Regardless, right? Like you're going to have all these side effects, right? It's just a band-aid to the gunshot wound, plain and simple. There's never going to be something that's going to come out there and save you. You have to save yourself. And how do you actually save yourself? Start by making wiser, better choices. That's it, right? Like it's great having people in your corner supporting you, right? That helps out tremendously. But at the end of the day, like nobody's forcing a gun to your head and saying, hey, you have to eat the Cheetos, right? And you have to, be on the couch and drink the beer and not work out and not play with your kids. No, that's all on you. So what do you need to hear today that's actually going to help you wake up? Do you need somebody to paint the reality of how your life is going to look in the next 5, 10, 15 years? Maybe you're a type 2 diabetic. Maybe it got so bad that you got a blood clot somewhere and you're now a below knee amputee, or you got some, limbs chopped off or some fingers chopped off, whatever the case may be. Because you, right, took your health for granted. You didn't care about it, plain and simple. Or maybe what's even worse is that your kids start to fall through in your bad habits. And now next thing you know, it's like they're miserable, they're depressed, right? Maybe they are also dealing with, diabetes now. Whatever the case may be. Monkey see, monkey do. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. So it's like, what is going to be the thing that you need here? Maybe it's your family suffering because of your laziness and you lacking self-control, because that's really what it boils down to. Every man needs to hear something that's going to help them wake up. It's not going to be this sunshine and roses of, hey, sign up for my coaching program and you're going to get six-pack abs and lose all this weight. Listen, that's great. But pain is the driving force. Pain is the true fuel source that's going to push somebody to greatness. Let's just say if there was a pot of gold in the middle of the woods, yeah, you're going to run fast, right? You want that money. But if there was a grizzly bear chasing you, or maybe chasing your kids with you, you're going to run 10 times faster because your life's depending on it. Well, my question to you is, why don't you think that about your own life right now? Because your choices is slowly digging this graveyard, right? Your choices is slowly making you even more defeated, even more hurt, even more depressed. And it's all because of your choices. And all you need to do is start making better choices. Not tomorrow, not next week, because that's where most guys do, right? We live in this Amazon Prime type day and age. We can get everything we want to our doorstep literally today or tomorrow. You can't do that when it comes to getting in better shape with your health. We have, DoorDash, Grubhub. You don't even need to leave the house to get food. Once again, you can't change your health. Right? It didn't take a week or a few days for you to have the man boobs and the beer belly and type 2 diabetes. No, that probably took years of making bad choices. And I'm not trying to discourage you and saying it's going to take years to come out on top of that. Now it could, if you want to continue to spend time on Google and YouTube and try to figure it all out and throw spaghetti up on the wall, hoping and praying some of the sticks, and you have no accountability, no support, no guidance. Yeah, of course it's going to take you X amount of years. Yeah, of course it's going to take you a long route. Right? Because you're being stupid and not investing in your health and just finding a professional that's actually going to coach you and guide you and teach you everything. That way you can learn within 6 months rather than 6 years how to actually get the results that you want and how to maintain that success for the rest of your life. That's on you though, right? But regardless, you need to understand this. You can't have this mindset of, I'm not losing 20 pounds in the first week, so I'm going to stop. No. You need to change your mindset to saying, if I'm eating healthy today, if I'm exercising my body and moving it today, if I'm drinking more water today, guess what? Is that helping me or hurting me for when I'm 5, 10, 15, 20 years older down the road? Obviously, it's helping you. So why would you not want to make that decision? Get your mind off the goals. Right? Because so many guys, we put our goals on a pedestal. We give ourselves these expectations. And then what typically happens is if we can't meet those goals or a roadblock comes our way, maybe it's an injury, maybe it's travels, something, right? Or maybe we just, fall into our cravings and we binge eat again. Whatever the case may be. We get so discouraged, we get so upset, we just stop trying completely. Honestly, we're quitters, right? Most guys out there, they have this big ego, big pride, and they quit on themselves way too soon. And that's why they never see results. And that's why automatically, their kids suffer down the road because of it. And their kids end up becoming quitters. But yet, hey, we're the guy with the man boobs and the beer belly telling our kids, hey, you should probably work out. Hey, you should probably stop watching TV. Hey, you should probably exercise more. Hey, you probably shouldn't quit. Why don't we take our own advice? Because let's face it, our kids, they're not listening to what we say. They're watching our actions. They're seeing what we do. So at the end of the day, if you're serious about changing your life, start with changing your choices. Okay? Because at the end of the day, you have a good wolf, you have a bad wolf. One wants you to be lazy. One wants you to be fat and out of shape. One wants you to be depressed. One wants you to have type 2 diabetes. One wants you to die early and take your family along that same path. But then you have the good wolf. The one that wants you to win. The one that believes in you. The one that says, yeah, you know what? Hey, this food that we're about to buy right now, maybe it is a little bit more expensive than buying a double Big Mac or whatever the case may be from McDonald's. But sure enough, are we going to be able to live longer? Are we going to be able to feel better? We're not going to have the regrets of eating this garbage that's literally dumbing us down with all the toxins and preservatives inside. It's well worth the investment. Your life, right now where it's at, is all because of your choices. And if you want to change your life, start with changing your choices. And if you don't know how to do that, well, guess what? Click on the link down below if you're watching this on YouTube. There's some resources in there just to help you out. As always, guys, this has been Coach Joe with Heartletics.com, and I'll talk to you in the next episode. Peace out, Girl Scouts.